The true enemy of humanity is disorder.
It's hard to just sit around knowing there's someone out there that needs to be blown up.
Hey guys, welcome to another Match Talks episode. This time I'm gonna be just talking a little while playing Overwatch, and I think because mostly Overwatch reminded me of something about myself that I'm not particularly a fan of, and it's part of it is that mostly I do not generally like playing multiplayer games where you kind of just have to play with random people, because part of it is really kind of how to say it. Part of it is also the frustration of having to play with other people, because you can't exactly control what other people do, and I mean that's kind of just the nature of these kind of pub games, and I suppose, or pugs, or basically, like PUG basically stands for pick up games, and so it's basically referring to games where you obviously have to play with random people. So it essentially it's really kind of has a long history in terms of like it's not just games like Overwatch. It's also games like MOBAs like League of Legends, Dota 2, and other things like that. So it's again, there is a degree of frustration that a lot of people can sometimes get to the point where they get really angry at other people, and that's mostly because essentially you can't control what other people do, and it's very easy to be judgmental of what other people do. So it looks like my towers are being destroyed, which is kind of a shame, admittedly. Okay. Alright, it looks like I need to switch from Symmetra soon, because unfortunately it looks like we're getting hammered pretty badly. Alright, we'll put a couple of towers up. And yeah, I definitely need to switch soon. Yep. Okay, I need to switch from Symmetra from the next run up. Okay. So yeah, it's sort of things like that. It's like you can't exactly control what other people do, and as a result, it's really easy to be judgmental of even the smallest things. And that's pretty much completely normal. And but of course, what obviously needs work is basically people's reaction to that kind of thing. And it's certainly something that's not handled very well by most people. It's very easy to be angry at others. It's very easy to, you know, rage at them, and things like that. So, and that's essentially sort of what kept me away from a lot of multiplayer games for the most part, because it's just very easy to be frustrated in that regard for essentially not feeling like I'm in control of the game. And that's a key factor that a lot of people sometimes don't realize, and they think, okay, you know, I want to be in control of a game, and I'm therefore gonna shout at a bunch of people who in a bid to feel like I have control over a game. And I know it seems like a really convoluted way of putting things, but admittedly that's sort of I mean, that's kind of just how it is, I suppose. So, while it's not something that I would be too critical about, I mean, it's something I better learn to manage when I'm growing up. Like, while growing up. Was that a tracer? Okay, Well, it looks like my towers are doing work, so I'm definitely not complaining. My teleporter's even doing work, so can't complain about that either. So, yeah, I mean, the one thing I like about Symmetra is that, and it's also influenced some of the heroes I pick as well. Like, if I have to pick heroes that depend on others, then, well, essentially I try not to pick heroes that have to depend on others. But I do like to try and pick utility heroes as well, so that I can be useful to others. But at the same time, oh, this is gonna be terrible. Well, okay, I'm not sure how they managed to get all the way around there, but I'm definitely not complaining. Alright, let's just get in. Oh, well, that sucks. Okay, time to switch. Let's see what my team has. I would like Winston, because I just kind of just need to get in there and deal with others. Alright. Because at this stage, Symmetry, I feel, is not all that useful anymore now that they've got the payload, so it's essentially a matter of really finding something that can deal with everyone else and just, you know, cause wreckage, essentially. So, yeah, Winston, I like Winston as well, because he's sort of jumping and do stuff but you don't have to like really support others or feel like you need to support others. So that's kind of the, and he's also like Roadhog as well, because he's always he's a very sufficient, like, because Roadhog has his own heal system, so it makes him very sufficient to essentially deal with. So the fact that he's, you know, he can basically heal himself is that, I need to get out of here. Alright, this is, oh really? Okay. So Roadhog is another one I like, because he's like, he's got a move that allows him to heal himself. So that makes it really useful in that regard. You know, I'm gonna switch to Reinhardt because I work better with Reinhardt. Yeah, I like Roadhog, or I used to like Roadhog, until I started missing hooks, because it was essentially like, because he had his own heal ability, like I didn't need to rely on others to sort of like get around and things like that. So looks like everyone's dead, so I need to do a hard D. Yes, we do need a bastion. Saying, yeah, this is the part of the thing where it's like, you know, it's like feels like we need to sort of support, bundle together, and that's where some people get frustrated, because obviously it's like me as a Reinhardt now, I'm at the mercy of those. Okay, that's dealt with. The problem is they've got two big tanks right now, which is really kind of annoying. So, alright, let's. Oh, geez, he pinged me first, and let's get some. Alright, oops, okay, I've gone a bit too far. Alright, oh. Well, look, that will keep them distracted for the time being, so. But you know what? Oh, Jesus, okay, that was a bit reckless. Yeah, it's things like that. It's just, like, as a Reinhardt, for example, one of my main frustrations is when, like, I'm being the front guy, but people are not following up. And it's, again, it's that part of having to depend on others to sort of, and trying to work together, even though you have a very minimal means of communication. Like right now, there's not a lot we can communicate with, because essentially we don't have a lot of tools to communicate with. We've got basically, where did that Pharaoh go? Alright, you kind of need to hold out a bit longer, and then I'll just charge one, and then I'll keep them busy. The problem is I can actually blast through my shield, but the good thing is I kept them busy. I bought them some time. So this is the kind of utility I try to do. I buy some time so that the rest of my team can actually, like, you know, get around the payload and sort of do that sort of thing. So it's definitely trying to think. So it can get frustrating when that kind of utility just doesn't get used. And so that's certainly part of the frustration I do have with Overwatch, and just the way some of the heroes are done and used, and basically playing with other people, because it's not like you can always communicate what everyone else is thinking. So, oh Jesus, okay. Oh, that was frustrating. And that can be frustrating, and it's also the same thing. It's like when you're a mercy, you're a support, and like your team don't coordinate to go up together in a way that, like, maybe they can all die together, so you can resurrect everyone. That's definitely another frustrating, or potentially another frustrating part about playing Overwatch. All right, so looks like we're gonna need to turtle up a bit, and if we're gonna do the double Reinhardt way, that's gonna be quite interesting actually. So, oh Jesus. That's annoying. Alright, I'll grab a health pack, and we should be able to defend this baby. And yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with League of Legends, the same thing with Dota. Alright, should be over soon. Alright, that's with him dealt with. And that's a good ult. There we go. Isn't that satisfying? Alright, let's do this. Very satisfying, and it's just one of those things you kind of need to look out and make yourself useful in Overwatch, at least in Overwatch. And now I'm sort of thinking like Dota and League of Legends and Heroes of Newer. I always enjoy playing support, because for me being useful in it's never been about the one that's doing the most damage that has interested me. It's about being useful, and of course it works better if I have teammates or friends that I play with. That essentially, you know what? I'm just gonna take advantage of this. Deal with the Bastion. Alright, there we go. Don't you love when you do that? And so it's kind of utility like that that makes it this kind of game satisfying. But of course, the lack of communication makes it difficult to like really get this together with certain teams, and basically with random people who obviously are not mind readers. So it's certainly a very understandable frustration in that when people are not on the same line. So it's like if I went out and ducked out as Reinhardt at the moment, that would definitely be something that wouldn't work out too well. Alright, let's just get in here and deal with everyone. Alright, this is gonna be annoying. Let's get this Hanzo from the back. And there we go. Very satisfying. So, for me at least, this is one of the fun parts about playing Reinhardt, is that if I can find that moment to really, like, just take them out, and I have an opportunity, I don't need to use my shield, that's where I feel useful. And that's where I like to play the kind of utility / support role. So it's yeah, it's just one of those things that I suppose for me it's how I play games with MOBAs and such. But of course it is very frustrating when other people are not on the same line. And yeah, as I said before, I like playing support. I like playing support roles, and well, we'll commend him anyway. Yeah, and again, communication, and this is where I can understand where if people like playing with friends or with like say, you know, or at least within a team, or like basically if they play together with the team, or even like in pro esports when they play as a team together, they have to learn these things. They have to learn how everyone else works and how everyone thinks, how everyone acts, how everyone moves, and how everyone reacts to certain situations, as well as they're communicating while doing certain situations. Oh, we have to defend. Okay, well, again, I'll do Symmetra. The problem is this is another payload map. So yeah, I will definitely be switching from Symmetra when I get the opportunity, because right now I feel that Symmetra, usually at the front, she's most useful because of her teleporter, and obviously I need to stay alive until she gets her teleporter up and running, that sort of thing. So again, utility. And I think, and it feels like a lot of people in general just sort of feel like, you know, all they want to do is just play, shoot, kill sort of thing, and they're not really objective focused, which is he on our team? No, he's not. Okay, no, I was reading the show, was asking Mercy or Lucy, I was like, is he on our team? And no, he isn't, so probably shouldn't answer his question for him. Alright, but as Symmetra, at least I can get some turrets up and running. Now the so as I said before, I usually I like to play support characters, and again, no, what tangent was I on before? Oh yeah, basically esports teams and communication. Communication is a lot of things that people just don't seem to get, and this is just very, not even within the game context. This is very, very loosely speaking in general. Communication is something that not a lot of people understand or get, and it certainly leads to a whole bunch of frustrating moments, which could have been fixed, you know, if everyone just kind of just had a sat down, had a good talk, essentially. So, alright, where did that... Oh, okay, that's annoying. But, thankfully, Symmetra's got some pretty badass damage. The problem is, you know, she kind of... Alright, let's get some shields up, let's get some more turrets up. And, I think we're doing pretty well. Okay. Right, definitely want to pop a turret here. And, having a lot of, say... Having your turret spreads out avoids them all being wrecked. So, that's definitely one of the more useful things. Okay, I've got a teleporter up, so let's pop one up. Alright, and I'll grab some HP as well. So, yeah, esports, again, this is one of those things that's really, really interesting for me to think about, and how teams communicate, how players communicate in certain situations as well, because it's like when someone is panicking, for example, it's really hard for them to think straight and maybe to take orders from other people and things like that. So that's definitely something like a lot of people in general can think and work on and improve on. And the other thing in general is that in esports, usually when you think about how old people are, they're just people who are basically quite young. They're like, say, in their 20s or... oh, Jesus. I walked straight into that one. They're sort of people who are growing up and they're still trying to understand how to talk, how to communicate, because it's just a natural part of growing up. And again, it creates a very interesting paradigm in which oh Jesus. Alright, let's get this turret up. Let's get some shields up. Alright. Alright, let's kill this gorilla because he's getting a bit annoying there. Oh, how did I kill a bunch of people? Well, I'm not complaining. Okay, this is annoying. Ooh. Admittedly, I'm not the best player, but I do know how to, I suppose, deal with some guys. Oh, okay. Well, I'm not complaining that... No, I need to get my teleporter up, so... Where's the safe place? Jesus, I haven't been around this part of the map, which is actually going to make things frustrating for some others, so... Yep, yeah, that's a good place.
Teleporter online. Turret in place.
Alright, so... Oh, Jesus. Quite glad it's not actually killing my turrets, but, hey. Alright, so... Again, I mean, I know I sound like a broken record here, but, yeah, it's really all communication. Okay, what's going on? And yeah, I suppose that's not really much else I can say. It's like, basically right now I know my team is doing well because we're all kind of on the same page. Alright, Tracer, you are annoying. Wait, oh, that was the... Alright, so, again, it's like, here, in this playing right now, we're all kind of just on the same page. So I don't need to worry too much about, like, essentially trying to communicate with my team, and basically we're all doing well, we're all acting well, we're all doing our roles well, so we don't need to worry too much about, like, just trying to... Pardon me, like, just trying to get us all coordinated and stuff like that. So, yeah, at least, and then, but of course there are games where it just feels like everyone is out of sync, and it's really frustrating. I mean, that's pretty much all we can say about it. It's just frustrating, doesn't feel like anyone's together, and that happens. And you know, again, it's what's more important is how you handle that kind of thing, and sort of just deal with the game. Do you adjust to other people, or do you sort of just stick to your own devices? And alright, that's alright. Well, okay, no, I clicked the wrong button. Oh well. I knew the Mei was behind there, which was actually going to be frustrating and interesting because I wasn't sure how I handled up against her. Oh, my teleporter's down. But I think I'm still useful, so I would definitely stay as immature for the time being. But definitely I need to reposition my turrets now because it looks like they'll be coming around the door pretty soon. Alright. Yeah, there's not much else I can really think of. It's some interesting things to think about, some not so interesting things to think about. Well, oh, I'm with one. So yeah, I mean, I do apologize for this not being too terribly coherent, and I thought I had a lot more to say.